My favourite moment is probably Musetta's Waltz song, because it's such a great tune, and it comes at such a brilliant moment in Act 2. And my character, Marcello, there's the other side of Marcello, as you can see. I'll need her later. So he's in love with Musetta, and she sings this fantastic waltz song. And then there's an explosion from the orchestra, and Marcello takes over her tune, and then there's a big reunion between Marcello and Musetta, and it's just operatic bliss.
There are a number of moments. I think not necessarily the sad ones. I think the really happy ones. The simplicity of the way the scene in the first act is written, the love scene. They both just. I mean, even just not in this production, the immediacy and the way that it is written, almost as if two people do sit down and they have a conversation with each other over 15 minutes or so. There's something really very beautiful and very touching and very sincere about the way it's written that I find very moving.
Act 2 is my favorite part of the show because, first of all, the most important thing is we get to eat a lot of food.
We do.
We get to eat some salami and some cheese and drink a bunch of fake wine.
Benoit in Act 1. Because Simon, it's a real sort of camaraderie between us. And the whole scheming thing against him, it works so perfectly. And Simon's reactions are fantastic. And you know, physically throwing him off the stage at the end, I think it's so effective.
I mean, I'm sort of on and off in a flash. I spend more time in makeup and quick changes. And I'm going to sue Colette here for mental cruelty because she makes me look uglier than it's possible to describe in the first act and almost as unattractive in the second act. So it's quite a busy evening for me in the dressing room, but sometimes I do stay for Act 3, and there have been performances when I've stood in the wings. I tell you this now, with tears running down my cheeks. It is so unbearably beautiful in Act 3. So there we are. I can't be bothered to stay to watch you die in Act 4.
Mimi! I'm sorry, I know it's really cliched, but that bit always gets me when that chord in the orchestra comes in, and it's incredibly difficult, being dead, not to react and have a wobbly lip. So that takes quite a lot of concentration.
Giving of the gift that Musetta comes and she brings gloves for Mimi for her to warm her hand, and that she tells Rodolfo to pretend that they're from him instead of them being from her. That's a wonderful, wonderful bit of writing. It's one of the most moving scenes in opera. It's really, really beautiful. If anything, it's more moving than the very, very end of the piece for me, because of its simplicity.
But the whole of Act 4, from the entrance of Mimi and Musetta, is just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's filmic in its quality. It's subtly presented by Puccini, just like a domestic drama almost. It's fantastic.
The sono andati, that part, definitely. Have they left yet? That's what you say. I think that's very sweet. It's a beautiful moment with just, it's very honest, in my opinion, but an honest moment between Rodolfo and Mimi. And it for some reason, it just makes me cry, I think mainly because she knows her position. And I think she knows her position and her condition more than anyone else does. And I think that she tries to remain positive for everyone around her. And that's really sweet. It actually reminds me of because I lost my father, and it reminds me of my dad. When he passed away, he was very positive for his whole family, you know, smiling and, you know, looking around and asking everyone else how they're doing, you know. And it's actually one of the things I think in death, that when somebody who is dying, when they do that for other people, it's in a way very comforting. So it makes me cry.